Hi, this is Jim Cranston from 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com, the podcast and website about reimagining your life. Thanks for joining me today to talk about, well, being joyful, and also a little public service announcement about an upcoming Social Security change. So let's get started. If you like what you hear today, please leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me a message. Thanks for joining me tonight to talk about ways to bring a little joy into yours and to other people's lives. Plus, we'll start off with a change that's taking place in Social Security, actually the Social Security portal, effective at the end of this coming September, September 24. So first, the public service announcement. The Social Security Administration will be requiring a login.gov or ID.me account as of September 28th, 2024. So in order to access your portal, you have to have this separate ID. Up to now, you've been able to use a password, and it's been optional for a few years, but like I say, it's becoming required now. And let me share a screen here. The web page where they talk about that is just disappeared. Come back, you little devil. There we are. There's a page, how to transition your Social Security account to login.gov. That's the new method of doing it. And they talk here about you'll get a reminder starting in June. And then, like I said, September 28th is, I believe, the current cutoff date to have that changed. So if you want to find out how to get to that web page, there is what I did in Google. Just search for Social Security ID.me, and I will spell it out because I have a banner for that too. There we go. Social Security. Search for this on Google or whatever your favorite search engine is. Social Security ID.me or login.gov, and the screen that should come up is this one, and you can see it's how to transition. The first result on Google, at least, is how to transition your Social Security account to login.gov. And it's very simple to do. And you click on that link and it brings you to this page. And they go all through and they tell you where to go, and there's a video how to do it and all of that. So, but again, it's coming up in not too long. Like I said, it's going to be at the end of September. So I would suggest that you get an early start on it, because things like that just have a way of everybody tries to do it at the last minute, and then suddenly the website isn't working, whatever. But and it's really important to note, and this is actually very important, that this won't affect, if you're getting Social Security checks at all, this doesn't affect your ability to get Social Security checks. And the reason I say that is because as sure as the sun's coming up tomorrow, that soon, if they haven't started already, there's going to be a bunch of scams calling you saying, "Hi, this is the Social Security office. If you don't change your login thing, you're not going to get your Social Security check." You go, "What?" Say, "Give me your Social Security number. We'll fix it right now." Well, they're not from Social Security. They won't fix it right now. What they will do is take your Social Security number and steal it and sell it. And so, like I said, Social Security has made it very clear this will have no effect on any payments that you receive. So if anyone says that, hang up on them immediately. Call your local Social Security office. Really, just 2 steps. Hang up, call your Social Security office. Make sure your account is safe. And the second really important piece, like I mentioned, this only affects logging onto Social Security, onto their portal. So if you don't have a portal set up, it doesn't affect you at all. If you use the online portal to check benefits or whatever, then you'll have to update your logon method to use login.gov to get in. But Social Security should never ask you for your Social Security number over the phone unless you called them first. If you call them first, they may say, "Okay, I'll need your full Social Security number to verify the information you've given me." But if you get a call from them, it generally is not Social Security. I know one instance where somebody from Social Security did call and ask for a Social Security number. The people didn't give it to them, and their supervisor called back to verify it was Social Security, and gave them some other person identifiable information to make that clear. But generally, if somebody calls you and asks you for a Social Security number, do not give it to them. So we can talk more about that whole thing another time, including a walkthrough if you wish. if there's interest on it, just leave a message, let me know. But like I said, the two big things are that doesn't happen until the end of September, but you probably should do it sooner, and it only happens logging onto the Social Security portal. If you don't use the Social Security portal at all, doesn't matter at all. So that's that. And that's the end of our public service announcement. Now on to the main topic for tonight. The rest of tonight will be about the joy of doing nice little things for other people, but from kind of a different perspective than maybe you've heard it before. I've seen some, quote unquote influencers talk about like leaving $100 tip at Christmas for a waitress to help out the poor people or whatever, and other somewhat kind of self-aggrandizing sorts of actions. But what we're talking about tonight are much lower key and usually not even perceived as a gift, but they really are intended to show respect and bring a smile to someone's day. They could include something as simple as dressing up a little bit when you go out. For example, I always make a point of dressing up when I go to the doctor's office or even to the lab for lab work. Dressing up to travel, not just for business, but anytime you travel. Dressing up the first time I go to meet someone. Why? Because it's just a little way to show respect for the other person. Obviously, if you're running into the lab in the middle of your workday and you drive a truck route, you can't dress up. But if you have the time, it's just a small way to say thank you to the people who are there helping you. A lot of people question me why I still dress up when I travel. And it's kind of interesting. One thing, you may recall way back when, travel used to be kind of a treat and really something pretty special. It's kind of a special event. And for me, it still always is a special event. It doesn't matter if I've been traveling 6 out of the previous 8 weeks. It's still something most people in the world will never have the opportunity to do. So I wanted to stay special in my mind, and it's something that I appreciate being able to do. But the other reasons that, if you're taking an early flight, everyone's complaining about how early they're there and how early they had to get up. Well, the staff at the airport, they've probably been there well before sunrise. They do this 5 days a week. And think about doing that, then to deal with all these, self-centered, for lack of a better term, travelers, all of whom think they should be the first ones to board the flight, and they should be allowed to bring on basically a small car as carry-on luggage, and always asking for favors. Enough on all of this. Especially for very early or late flights, I always start by either thanking the staff for working such an early or late hours so that I could fly at that time. And if they're particularly cheerful, commenting on how nice it is to start or end my day with such a nice smile. If they have any pins on or ribbons or whatever, I'll ask them what the award is for or compliment them on if they have like a unique piece of jewelry or a sharp-looking tie. It costs nothing at all, but it helps them to realize they really are making a difference and that their effort is appreciated. Most importantly, it's recognizing them as a person, not just some robot standing behind a counter, but a real living person that has feelings. We've got much Social Security up there. My other banner tonight, I have a friend, I've talked about him before, Reginald Ferguson. I love Reggie. His website's NewYorkFashionGeek.com. Reggie doesn't even know I'm doing this. So if you call him, say hi from Jim. If you talk to him, I met him because this is a story I've told before. We were two of very few people, possibly the only two people, wearing ties at a podcast movement conference. And it turns out we share a lot of the same ideas. We dress out of respect for others and also respect for ourselves. Reggie, it turns out, he's if you go to that website, he started a whole business now out of this. People are starting to realize that it's just plain polite to not always dress like a vagabond. And he has far better taste than I do, so he's much better at presenting that than I. But many of his clients are young professionals just getting started out or getting ready to leave school and realizing that there are both personal and interpersonal benefits to dressing respectfully. Frankly, would you rather spend all day helping people dressed in dirty jeans with a wrinkled logo shirt full of curse words and disrespectful slogans? Or someone who took the time to dress nicely, smiles at you, and thanks you for your service? That isn't prejudice, it isn't cultural anything. It's just plain mutual respect. Reggie and I have talked about doing some podcasts together, and I'm going to hopefully see him in a few weeks, that podcast movement. And so this year we're going to make it happen for sure. Check it out, NewYorkFashionGeek.com. He has a podcast. The podcast is fun. He covers lots of interesting things. It's not just him. He has a bunch of people working with now. And it's all about, some of it is style. Like I said, Reggie has much, very nice style, frankly. But the other piece of it is just there's an underlying thing about caring for yourself and caring for others. So check out his website and check him out. And if you go to Podcast Movement, look him up. He'll have a tie on. But even beyond clothes, another super easy win as you're trying to just make people smile. If you do anything today and you're on the phone, chances are now at some point you'll end up talking to a receptionist, a phone receptionist. Let's start out. Ask them how their day's going as soon as they answer. And even if, and perhaps especially if, they're in some, miserable overseas call center. It may be the only job they could get, and they have essentially almost no control over anything in their job. So try to make them smile. It costs you nothing, but it may be one of the few rays of sunshine they have in their days. Now, this is a huge one, and this is for everybody, and sometimes I am tempted to do it. Just don't. Stop complaining to people about things they don't control and can't control. The bus driver or the train conductor, they don't set the fares, so stop complaining to them. The grocery store checkout person or the bagger, they didn't set the prices of the food either. So don't talk to them in some accusatory manner or complain about the food prices to them. If you must, although I discourage it, unless you really kind of know them, if you must say something, just make note of how much prices have changed, or put it in the context of, remember when, eggs only cost like 30 cents a dozen or something like that. Turn it into a conversation piece, but leave it at that. It's out of their control. Probably they hear it all day long. The big overriding factor, always, just always be polite. We're talking about it tonight. We've talked about it in other contexts. That's the number one thing. Be polite, be respectful. You can always be firm, and sometimes you have to be, and you might be able to express disappointment, but always be polite, always be respectful. It's always respectful, to make somebody feel good about themselves and to feel good that they're doing there. And reality is, at that instant, they're the only person that can help you. So it's for everybody's benefit. You make them smile a little bit. Hopefully it helps them want to help you. It's just a mutually good thing to do. And you can feel good about how you acted, and also kind of raise the standard for those other people around you. If you're at a checkout line or something, instead of going, look at the prices, all the time, just say, hey, how's it going? Wow, I was really busy today. What time did you start? Did you get out for lunch? It's a nice day. Did you get out for lunch? Just something to break up the day and make them smile. And hopefully other people look at it and say, well, I suppose I could ask them a nice question too. And you might be thinking, what about all those overbearing people? They always seem to get ahead because of their behavior. They push their way to the front of the line. They're always complaining about something. You know the type. They always make a scene. They're always threatening to call the president of the company or write the state attorney general or whatever. The reality is, you only see a snapshot into other people's lives. Did they push and bully their way to get into, on the plane to get boarded early? Perhaps they did. But do they also have, a lousy relationship because they can only think of themselves? Quite possibly. But you don't see that part. And which part's really more important? To me, clearly, it's leaving a positive legacy and making the world a little bit better place for everyone. So that's it for the evening. Try and spread cheer when you can, sincerely as you go, though. And as you go through your day, just make it a regular part of your day. It really isn't all that difficult, and it really does help other people to get through what may be a difficult day for themselves. And it can be showing respect in how you dress, how you act, even just how you look at somebody. But mutual respect and kindness is the best antidote to a lot of the acrimony and divisiveness that we see today at every level, from the global level right down to communities. And don't forget, check out the new Social Security portal login requirements, which take effect at the end of September 2024. You should probably start early, like I said, because it may be a rush at the end. And if it's something that you count on, then make sure you continue to get access to it. And very important, beware of scams. Never give anyone your Social Security number or any other personal information for that matter if they call you on the phone. So your homework, always optional, is to think about all the ways you could bring a little cheer and respect into your daily interactions with people you may not normally think about. People like bus drivers, checkout people, essentially anyone and everyone you interact with. Extra points if you also notice their reaction. You may be surprised how that grumpy cashier is suddenly quite pleasant once they realize that when they wait on you, they'll probably get a smile and a thank you. It doesn't take much to make someone's day just a little bit brighter. Please remember the many ways, the many wars rather, that are going on in the world. We have ukr7.com. Those are links to, where is it? Lost it. Links to charities and other organizations that help in Ukraine, ukr7.com. If that's not what you're interested in, there's wck.org. They help people where natural disasters have happened, sometimes wars, but also natural disasters, usually by providing food and food services and care. Both great things. And if you want to donate locally, that's fantastic too. And if you don't want to donate, that's fantastic too. The only thing I ask is, like we talked about today, try and spread a little bit of cheer. Just do something to bring a little bit of smile, a little bit of happiness to someone else's life. So if you can and you're able, check out the links. If you just want to make somebody a little happy for the day, smile at them, just be nice. What you do makes a difference. As always, thank you for stopping by. If you found something interesting or useful, please pass it along. Please subscribe and hit that like button. And if not, please drop me a comment as to what you'd like to hear. Have a great day. Remember to live the life that you dreamed of, because that's the path to true contentment. Love and encouragement to everyone. See you next week on 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com. Thank you.